What's up, everybody? OT for Tech here, and this is the LG G3. Not yet released in the United States, we're going to be looking at the Korean edition. Taking a look at the back of the box, you can see it has the specs of the LG G3 and it sports that Quad HD display, the Snapdragon 801 processor, a 1-watt speaker on the back, has a 13 megapixel camera with the laser autofocus, and it has a 3000 milliamp battery. So let's go ahead and slice open those pieces of plastic and get inside this box. Taking off the top, you can see the first thing you're greeted with is the LG G3, and you can see that I opted for the black faux metal design. Underneath the tray that the LG G3 comes in, you can see you have some paperwork. It's all written in Korean. I'm sure it's just about accessories and things like that. And then you also have the manual for the LG G3, again written in Korean. You also get some premium headphones. I'm not sure how good they are. I'll do some more testing and I'll follow up in my full review, but you can see the LG logo is on the backs of the earbuds and it has a chrome design. Depending on the color LG G3 you get is depending on the color of the headphones you get. The white model you get white headphones, the black model you get black headphones. Has inline controls as well as an L-shaped headphone jack. And you also get different sized earbuds, hopefully that'll fit your ear. And here are your charging bricks. You can see the international charging brick with the American charging brick adapter. So you just take the adapter and pop it onto the international and there you go. But be careful though, because there are errors. As you can see here, if you don't quite put it on correctly, it will shoot off. And here is your data cable. You can see it is in black as well. Again, if you get a white one, it will come in white. And you get 2 batteries in the international version or the Korean version, as well as a battery charger. It's a really awesome extra to have, and it's probably going to be specific to the Korean and international versions only. Taking a closer look at that battery charger, you can see that little lip. That is there to hold your LG G3 while your separate or backup battery is charging. It doesn't charge while the LG G3 is actually in the stand. It's just basically a stand and that's it. Taking a look at the side, you can see that wide opening there is for your spare battery, and on the back you have your opening for your micro USB charging port. On the opposite side, you have nothing there at all. And taking a look at the bottom, you can see you have some battery information as well as some anti-slip guards on the bottom. And that is it for the unboxing. But the vendor or seller that I bought this from, which was actually a store on eBay, I'll leave the link in the description below, included a screen protector and a case. Cheap quality, but nevertheless good protection to have until some higher quality products come out. Taking a look at the front of the phone, you can see you have that LG logo on the bottom. You have hardly any bezels at all on this phone, and it has a pre-installed screen protector. But the factory screen protector sucks. It's a fingerprint magnet, and once those fingerprints get on the screen protector, it's almost impossible to remove them all. So I went ahead and removed it, and plus it has Gorilla Glass 3, so pretty much it's going to be resistant to most scratches, not all. But I'll be okay until I can get a premium tempered glass screen protector on my phone. You also have strips of plastic that go around the sides of the phone, as well as some pieces of plastic covering the buttons on the back. Once you remove all those, you're good to go. Taking a look at the back, you can see you have your volume up and down buttons, which are actually textured so you can differentiate them between the power button and the camera. The power button rests in between the volume buttons. You have your 13 megapixel camera, your dual LED flash with your laser for autofocus. You have your carrier logoing on the bottom left. You have your speaker right next to the LG branding. Since the buttons are located on the rear of the phone, you're not going to find any buttons on the sides, the top, or the bottom of the phone. The only thing you're going to find on the side is a little lip, and that is used to remove the back of the phone. Here's a quick look at the opposite side, and you can see there is no buttons whatsoever. On the bottom you have your micro USB charging port with a 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone. Switching it over to the top of the phone, you have your IR blaster. You also have another microphone, and there's a little secret thing that is included in the Korean model only, and that is an antenna. Over in Korea, this is a big feature, so they can watch TV and they can catch up on their local networks simply by pulling out the antenna and accessing the app. In all out reality, I really wish that the US variant would carry this feature over and we could watch our local networks. So let's talk about the battery. It's a 3000 milliamp battery, and with the international and Korean versions you get 2. So let's go ahead and install that battery into the phone. You're going to want to take your fingernail into that little lip that I talked about earlier on the side of the phone and pop open the back. Underneath that back, you can see your volume up and down buttons a little bit more clear here. You can see that matte finish as well as the laser, the camera itself, and the dual LED flash. You also have a slot for a micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes as well as your micro SIM card slot. Moving on down to the bottom, you have that chrome bezel that goes around the speaker grill itself. Installing the battery in the phone is nothing special, so just go ahead and and pop it into place and take the back plate and go ahead and snap it back into place. You'll hear comforting clicks and pops to let you know that it's secured, and now you're ready to power on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and take you through the setup process just to show you what it's like. The very first thing you see is the LG logo, which says life is good. Next, you're going to have your carrier logo. Since this is a Korean model, it says LTEA. Next is going to be the welcome screen for the setup process itself. So go ahead and select the language that you want. In this case, I wanted English. Next, it's going to ask you about your Wi-Fi connection, so you can select your network that you prefer, and if you have a password encrypted network, make sure you put in that password. You can also run the setup process based on your data connection with your cellular service. In this case, we're going to be logging onto my home network, which is Fix the Potholes, and once it obtains the IP address, we're good to go. The next part of the setup process is going to be setting up or logging into your Google account. We're going to go ahead and skip this, and moving forward you can see the next thing it's talking about Google location and so forth, and then you're going to have to put in your first and last name just to let the phone know who it belongs to. The next part is basically an exclusive to the Korean or international version or your carrier version from Korea, and it's basically asking you if you want the LG phone mode or the carrier phone mode. I'm going to opt for the LG phone mode as I don't live in Korea, so I have no use for the T mode on the phone. The next part is basically asking about data connection services, automatic installs, and the use of data connections. And after that, it's talking about the NOC code setup, which we'll get more into later on in the video. After that, you can set up the on-screen buttons. You can choose the color and layout of them, which is a pretty cool feature, and then you can assign a name to your LG phone. After that, you have the McAfee setup, which is an antivirus platform for your mobile device, and it's pretty cool that the phone actually comes with that. There's nothing special about the setup process of this phone, but I wanted to give you guys a quick run through, that way you know what to expect when you get your very own LG G3. LG toned down the skin that they have over Android with this particular version, and it runs really smooth, but the thing is, I'm not a big fan of LG skin to begin with. I think the icons are very ugly, and I just don't like the overall feel of the LG skin. I honestly prefer TouchWiz over it, but considering the phone features the Snapdragon 801 quad-core processor clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, it runs very smooth. It also has 3 gigabytes of RAM, and of course, it features the latest Adreno 330 for graphics. But of course, it needs all of that power to fuel the Quad HD display, but it does not hiccup in the process. Whether you're doing some multitasking or just looking through widgets or your app drawer, you're not going to experience hardly any lag whatsoever. But then again, this is just a first impressions video, and I'll do more testing later on for my full review. Even the international unlocked version comes with a whole lot of bloatware, but the thing is, you can uninstall a lot of it. I would say maybe a half to 3/4 of it, which is a unique feature because most of the US variants do not allow you to uninstall the bloatware. The camera on this phone is amazing. It features optical image stabilization. It has a very fast laser autofocusing system. The dual LED flash on the camera allows for really good low light pictures as well as maintaining skin tones. The camera app itself is very simplistic. The front facing camera features a 2.1 megapixel count. It has a feature in which you hold up your hand and make a fist, and it does a countdown to take a selfie. I've experienced no problems with this feature, and as you see, the rear-facing camera is capable of taking beautiful shots. And in my full review, I plan on going further into the camera app itself and also doing plenty of comparisons between this and the OnePlus One and this and the iPhone 5S and the Galaxy S5 and so forth. And the image quality from this camera is astonishing. It also has 4K capability, and I'm going to dig deeper into that and probably shoot a few review videos with the phone. And just like the LG G2 had, if you double tap on the screen, it's going to wake up the phone, and if you double tap the screen on the lock screen, it's going to put the phone back asleep. If your phone is unlocked, you have to double tap the status bar and it will relock the phone. And because it's running Android 4.4.2 or Android KitKat for that matter, you have your lock screen widgets, and you can add widgets to your lock screen as well. You don't have to just use the circle clocks and things like that. One thing I don't like though is with the Korean version, it has the home time, and I have not figured out how to take that away. And as far as connectivity goes with the Korean model, I've been able to connect to AT&T's LTE, 4G, HSPA+, and 3G networks without any issues whatsoever. And of course, as you just saw, that has a new lock screen animation, which is the particle or light particle animation, which gives it that unlocking effect. And a new feature that LG has added into the G3 is a NOC code. So you just basically take a diagram of 4 squares and knock into the individual squares that you want to set your code. and it can be anywhere from 4 to 8 knocks long. You'll also be required to enter a numeric code in case you forget the knock code, but once you open the lock screen, you can kind of see the perimeter of the 4-square diagram. Just knock in the corners that correspond to your code and it will unlock your phone. If you get it wrong, it won't unlock, and once you get it right, it simply takes you to your home screen. The 5.5-inch 1440 by 2560 QHD display on this phone is amazing. With a pixel density of 541 ppi, it's easily the best smartphone screen to date. And here's your typical side-by-side comparison with the Galaxy S5, the Oppo Find 7a, the OnePlus One, and the iPhone 5s. And even though it is the thickest out of the 5, it is also a hair bigger than the Galaxy S5, yet features the same exact screen size as the Oppo Find 7a and the OnePlus One. And thanks to its curved back design, it fits in the hand very, very well. And coming in at 149 grams, it does not weigh a lot either. Just to give you an idea of how much 149 grams weighs, the HTC One M8 weighs 160 grams. And since it's not made of actual real metal, it's made of plastic, it has a matte finish on the back, which provides an excellent grip. This was just my quick unboxing and first impressions of the LG G3. There'll be much more to come and a much more thorough review. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, follow me on all my social media networks, and leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see in the full review. And of course, as always guys, I thank you for watching and all your support.